Good morning, all. Welcome to Co-Creating Your Reality. This is not a TV show. I reiterate, this is not a TV show, right? My life is not a movie. It's not meant to be a movie. It's not a movie, right? Welcome to reality, right? Welcome to reality. Welcome to this bench where I come to sit and talk about common sense almost every day, right? So today's conversation will continue in the conversation on gender, right? Remember we talked about gender and harmonization of our masculine and feminine energy. We had a nice, beautiful conversation about that in my previous video, right? So I want to continue because 3 sessions at least per course, right? So I'd like to continue with that conversation today. And today I want to talk about what you would call traditional okay, let's rephrase that. Today I want to talk about competition versus cooperation, right? And how the social engineers or the dark occultists of the world, the dark social engineers, because we could engineer people's minds, but we could engineer it in a good way, in a positive way, right? But the dark social engineers of the world has in contemporary society invoked a spirit of competitiveness, right? Has invoked a spirit of competitiveness rather than a spirit of cooperation between different genders, right? Welcome to this discussion on gender and how in contemporary society relationships are splitting apart, families are splitting apart, societies are splitting apart because the dark occultists of the world have invoked a spirit of competitiveness between genders or between sexes, however you want to say it, right? In sociology they will teach you sex and gender is not the same thing, right? One is actually deals with reproductive organs, male and female reproductive organs, that's sex, and gender is what you choose to identify as, right? Sociology will teach you that, and gender courses and so on, right? But in this conversation, to me, in my opinion, it is irrelevant, right? Let us talk about how, in an overall sense, a spirit of competitiveness rather than cooperativeness or cooperation exists between sexes, and this is a form of destabilizing tactic, right? It is a destabilizing tactic by the dark occult, is part of the dark occult agenda, right? Because if males and females, men and women, who are actually in relationships, right? Who are actually in a relationship, right? If they compete with each other, imagine in a relationship, right? Imagine in a relationship and you're more interested in competing with your significant other, right? Your mindset is so deranged, so psychopathic, right? Your mindset has been so broken down and deranged that your mindset is that of, oh, let me compete with my wife, right? Let me compete with my husband, right? Rather than let me cooperate with my wife, let me cooperate with my husband, let me cooperate with my boyfriend, let me cooperate with my girlfriend, let me cooperate with my fiancé, right? And let us collectively get what we need to get done, right? Rather than saying, oh, I want to be each other, wanting to be each other, right? Wanting to be each other, right? Or treating life itself as though it is a competition. We all, it is about understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses. And in a relationship that is actually for you, right? What is one person's downfall is usually the other person's strength, right? What is one person's strength is usually the other person's downfall, and together when they cooperate, right? Because we are not meant to be the same, we are not meant to be robotic individuals like what this the dark occult agenda actually want all of us to just be like flicking robots, everybody just doing the same thing like a flicking computer program, right? Now bear in mind that this does not deal with issues, matters of principle, right? Matters of principle, all of us should actually be doing the right thing. Aligning with spiritual law, all of us should actually be doing the right thing. If it's any monotonous robotic formula for all of us to live by, it should be spiritual law, right? It should be God's law, should be the Creator's law. But apart from that, how we do things, what we choose to do, how we choose to live our lives, apart from that, it's diverse, is a wide range of possibilities that can exist. And in fact, those possibilities can increase, right? Those possibilities can increase through walking God's law, right? Walking and speaking God's law. Those possibilities in life can actually increase, and it will increase with the more persons engaging themselves with aligning with spiritual law, right? And teaching it. The possibilities are going to increase, right? So we are not meant, male and female, first of all, not meant to be monotonous, not meant to be doing the same thing, right? So when contemporary feminism, for example, come up and talking about, we need to basically, women can advance, and now I'm not talking about the classical feminism where that's where my ideals stop with regard to feminism, right? Classical feminism is as far as I would go, right? I'm not into the contemporary feminism and all that. Classical feminism, which basically states that all of us have equal rights, which is basically what spiritual law teaching anyhow do, right? Which is what spiritual law teaches anyhow, that all of us have basic equal rights under God's law, right? The right to work, the right to this, the right to that, right? All of us have equal rights under the sun, right? And that is where my principle stops with regard to feminism. Contemporary feminism come out and a whole set of branch out feminism, liberal feminism, neoliberal feminism, Afro-American feminism, Indo-feminism, right? All of these feminisms came about, right? All of these, and I had actually used Indo-feminine feminism, Indo-Caribbean feminism, because that is what I needed to do to navigate my healing journey whilst I was doing my master's, right? So I'm not denying that at some point in your life you need to go through this process, right? Because that is actually what, as I said, I was on my healing journey practically for my entire life, right? I was on this healing journey for practically my entire life, and it was something I needed to do to navigate the experiences I was experiencing with the people I was experiencing it with, who was trying to make me sound like I was flicking crazy for no reason at all, when I've come to realize now that I was actually the normal one all along, right? So moving along, right? Classical feminism, which is the equality of basic rights, that is where I truly stop regarding principle, right? Regarding matters of principle, right? You see, contemporary feminism and like feminists like Judith Butler and all these feminists who we learn about in contemporary sociology and so on, who basically saying that, oh, you basically could, like, she basically said that it don't even have anything like sex, right? As in male and female. That was her stance. It doesn't even, that doesn't exist, right? Sex doesn't even exist, right? Now, this might be true, but it might be true when you're dead, right? It might be true when you're dead and you're no longer in a physical body, right? So Judith Butler, probably she was a flicking spiritualist or something, and she's not talking about people who actually living, right? She's probably talking about the dead, right? Because the only time we don't have our sexual organs, or we shouldn't be talking about sex, is, and the sexual organs is when you are dead, then you are no longer in a body and you don't have organs, right? So I not on these contemporary modern feminist bullshit, right? What I propagate is equal rights, men and women, is your choice how you choose to cooperate too. For example, you might be a female who might prefer to go out and work whilst your husband, boyfriend, is a house husband. Nothing is wrong with that. Fleck what society thinks, right? It is how you choose to cooperate. Once you make up your mind to cooperate with that person and get things done, right? You might choose to be the traditional female or traditional woman who wants to stay home and take care of the children and the house and so on. So be it. Reflect what contemporary modern people and modern feminists and modern generally whoever it is, this whole social framework is also a fraud. We're telling you what to do, right? The important thing, telling you who should do what, right? Who should do what. Once there's a spirit of cooperation between two people and families, once there's a spirit of cooperation, things like, cooking, cleaning, these things have been assigned as traditional gender roles, right? And now in society, things flip completely, right? Where people are saying that, okay, well, men should be doing all that. Nobody should be doing these things, people. Get that through you all academic thick skull, right? Get that through your regular thick skull, academia thick skull, or whatever it is. Toxic masculine or toxic feminine, right? Get that through both your toxic masculine and toxic feminine thick skull. That there's no role actually assigned to each other. There are certain things you might be better to do as a man, and props for that, and there are certain things you might be better to do as a woman, and props for that. And through cooperation, some of the rules might be switched because of preference. Some of the rules might be switched because of preference. Even though you are a man, you might prefer to do some traditionally defined feminine stuff. Even though you are a female, you might prefer to do some usually male dominated things. And so what, right? So what? I am here propelling myself to take action, right? And teaching people to do this through using my voice and teaching, right? Which I had defined as really a masculine trait, right? Not a masculine trait per se, but the masculine aspect that exists in all of us, right? So we all have, as I was saying, masculine and feminine energies, and our goal is to harmonize it, right? So whilst I might be more comfortable coming online and teaching, right? Teaching people because this is what I prefer to do, right? And this is me exhibiting or bringing out to teach, right? To teach others, right? This might more reflect the masculine aspect of me, right? And in some videos, I demonstrate more the feminine aspect of me, right? In some videos, I will bring out through teaching and through that aspect of care, right? I would demonstrate and nurture, and I would demonstrate the feminine aspect of me. And some videos, the masculine side of me will more dominate the discussion, right? So that's internally, right? But if it comes to our relationship now, right? There are certain things I would prefer to do, probably that is more feminine sometimes. There are certain things I would prefer to do that is more masculine. For example, when it comes to fighting wars and so on, right? That's why I was saying in our video last year, some wars are won silently, right? There are certain wars that can be won silently, right? Through a silent battle where one person don't need to say a word, right? One party don't need to say a word, right? And they could win a whole war, right? And how they could do that? Through actually taking the right action, but they could do it silently. And that is how the art of war actually works, right? Which I have no problem telling to the whole world, right? Because I actually want to see the whole world win, right? I actually want to see the whole world win, right? And that is why, even though people did shit against me during the past year, right? People engaged in crap towards me, right? Over the past year, I don't care. I even want to see you win, right? I even want to see you win. And that is why I am here teaching these things and saying the things that you are too scared to say, right? This is why I am here teaching these things and speaking the things that you are too afraid to speak, right? because I actually want to see you win, dumbass, right? It's like the phrase, sometimes you really have to be cruel to be kind, right? Sometimes in life, we have to be cruel to be kind, right? So, this whole irrelevant, this a lot of conversations in academia with regard to gender and so on. So, with regard to gender and there's a lot of gender discussions in academia and so on that you all could revise, right? And if you apply this hermetic principle, the hermetic principle of gender, into your academic discussions, if you all still want to carry on this fake institution, right? I'm telling you all, because I want no part to play in no fake institution, right? But if you all really want to keep these institutions, right, then do things in the right way, right? Do things in the right way, right? Institutions which are actually rotten from the core, and I have no idea if it really makes sense even trying to save these organizations anymore, right? If it makes sense, because it goes so deep, the level of sociopathy, right, and psychopathy that has been involved in creating certain institutions and perverting what's supposed to be pure disciplines, right, or teaching the right things, right? How it has come to become perverted through social engineering, right? Through social and psychological engineering, right? So, I don't know. That's what I was saying. It's best be demolished and rebuilt, right? It's best be demolished and rebuilt, right? Rebuild as a society, right? Not rebuild as any institution, actual institution. Right? So, regarding this topic of gender, relationships, cooperation, male and female, man and woman, whatever, right? Well, how does this work? How has it been working in my life? Right? I have been here for the past year teaching spiritual law, right? Someone came along in my life who I used to talk to in 2020, right? They revisited me, right? We had stopped talking for like a year or so. We had stopped talking for quite a while. Whilst I was on my healing journey intensified and so on, we stopped talking for a while. He revisited, right? And this person, as a rule, right, since we had started talking and stuff, every Friday, as a ritual almost, used to be like, and you know how we would say TGIF when it's Friday? As a rule, every Friday, he would send me TSIF, meaning, you know what? Thank Satan, it's Friday. Thank Satan, it's Friday, right? That is what he used to send me as a rule, as a ritual, every damn Friday, right? I used to go along with it, whatever. You know what he used to always send me? You know what he used to also send me? Photos of beef, photos of meat, when he having his meals and stuff, right? Well, guess what? I'll teach you all the spirit of cooperation between male and female, man and woman, right? He joined back and started watching my videos for the past couple months now, right? Or less. And as a rule, every Friday, you know what he sends me? Thank God it's Friday. TGIF. You know what? You know what he also is, or will be, by next month? He will be an ovo-vegetarian. What is an ovo-vegetarian? Ovo-vegetarian means a vegetarian person who eats eggs, right? So there are different types of vegetarians, right? There are different types of vegetarians. There are lacto-vegetarian, ovo-vegetarian, pescatarian, right? So this is what I actually encourage people to do. If you are, if you want to transition to a veggie lifestyle, cut down from the hardcore meats first. Then you cut down on meats and eat the general meats and just eat things like fish and stuff. Then you eat eggs and so on until your body gets adjusted, right? So he, as I was saying, developed his own schedule and so on, and has been sticking to it, right? Discipline. This is what discipline is. Like how I am, and he's in a whole other country right now from I am, right? Like how I am every day, regardless of how I feel, right? Regardless of how I feel. Regardless if I feel cold, regardless if I feel warm, regardless if I feel to stay in my bed, right? As a rule, every day I am getting up and walking, right? To make it into a habit, to make it into a routine. I'm doing this by myself. I don't need company to do this. You don't need company to do anything, right? Just develop yourself and you will attract the necessary things and situations into your life that you need to help you to further advance on your journey, right? Seek, endeavor to better yourself, and you will attract, because at different points in life we would have attracted different people based on where our mindset was, right? Wherever we are in our lives and what our mindset is at that particular point in time, right? Wherever our mindset is at that particular point in time, that is what we will attract. And that is one of the hardest life lessons that all of us, including myself, that is one of the hardest and harshest life lessons that we all have to learn, right? That wherever we are in our lives and whatever circumstances is playing out in our lives reflects the mindset, right, that we have. So change your mindset and your environment will reorganize itself, right? Not only change your mindset, but take action, right? Because you can change your mind however much you want, and you can think how much of a positive thoughts you want, which is not the solution, by the way, right? Positive thinking and happiness, right? This is actually an industry, you all know that, right? Happiness and positive, good vibes only, right? This has become an entire industry. I don't care if anybody to come to me with good vibes only, right? I want somebody to come to me. If I am to engage with you, come to me with your real fucking self, right? Not your mask, not your facade. Come with your real fucking self, not with your manipulative tactics. Come with your real self, right? I am not interested in anything apart from that. Because I've been so real in my videos. My life is literally an open book and I don't give a shit. That's why, you know, I don't care about the bullshitters who actually hack my phone and all that too. I will not be getting a new phone, right? Why I must go and spend money and buy and spend money on a new phone when you all who hacked my phone could actually read all my messages. You all can watch all my videos that I haven't posted as yet. You all can use my videos to make all your bullshit YouTube money, right? You all can use my videos to do whatever you want to do with it, because you know what? At least I know that from my videos, you who are engaged in this activity will be learning something from it, and that's my main goal, right? So that's why I'm not interested in having any new phone, right? Because you all will watch and you all will learn.